Twitch partner Kirsche has been banned.
Oh wow, I wonder who could be behind this. Especially after that AI slob article put out about how I read Anna Valen's fanfiction. Truly a mystery. The harassers cry out as they strike you.
I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening. There's just a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system, and they start saying some crazy things and doing some crazy things.
Why do people dislike Kirsche? Good morning, everyone! For any of you VTuber enthusiasts, you might have seen the recent news of Kirsche being banned on Twitch for a total of 1 day. The reasons cited were for sexual stuff. Like, they actually quoted saying that she was role-playing in virtual reality. Now, I can't say if that's true or not, because she's banned, I can't watch her, but she has been saying that the real reason for her ban is due to a harassment campaign. In this video, I give a quick read on the situation, and to be entirely 100% honest, I can't give a definitive opinion if there is a crazy mob against her, or if she does deserve some criticisms. Regardless, anywho, I think the parts of this video are pretty funny, and deserve to be called out. Okay, I'll start off by reading like the tweets from Kirsche herself, saying, "Oh wow, I wonder who could be behind this, especially after that AI slop article put out by How I Read Anna Valen's fanfic. Truly a mystery. The harassers cry out as they strike you." And then you also have a reply from Asmongold. Holy shit. Again, I haven't read the Vice article that came out, it might be slanderous, it might be factual, I have no idea. But in the email she got about being banned, it just said sexual content, that's it, if you can see it. And then, bro, this part was so funny. Examples of violative conduct include, but not limited to, role-playing oral sex in virtual reality, drawing characters engaged in sex or masturbation with or without sexual bodily fluids visible, displaying sex toys in a non-educational context. Holy fuck. That might be true actually, or it might be a delicate reason. They hate her for being crazy, insane, saying some yeesh stuff, and they put that reason out there, to make it more simpler. When in reality, there's ulterior motives behind it. I have no idea. But if you go back to the tweet, right, you also have Asmongold defending her, saying, "Surely this won't call into question all of the previous bad actions on Twitch that went unpunished." Who are you talking about? Who's talking about? Again, like you preface, right? I don't like Asmongold by any degree, right? But when it comes to the Hassan stuff, he cooks, he makes very good points that time and time again, Hassan will do crazy shit and he never gets banned. Also, sorry, hold on. Curse my tongue. He gets banned for 1 day for saying kill Rick Scott, kill Rick Scott, kill Rick Scott, or insane shit. 1 single day. It's generally shocking to me that Twitch executive leadership allowed the moderation team to continue to destroy the brand. I agree once again. And he said, maybe if I gone a giantess what? Maybe if I had done a giantess fought ASMR session like my abuser, Daddy Twitch would have left me alone. What the fuck was any of that? Excuse me? I don't even know the context behind that. Also, right below that, right, she made one last reply. Fridays are my biggest stream days, which unfortunate. Oh, it is Friday today. If you would like to support me during this cancellation attempt, please do so through my tip link. I'm sorry about no Tangent Friday this week. Onward chatters. There you go. Okay, so again, I'm very frustrated with this hate campaign, but there seems to be some valid reasons, for her being criticized from what I can see so far. So I'll put on a video real quick by. Okay, this is gonna be fucking difficult. We're putting on a video by Tectone reacting to Rev Says Desu. And I pulled them up, right? Because that's the most recent coverage I could find at all. And I don't like either of them, right? Tectone's fine. He's somewhat cringy, but he's alright. Rev Says Desu, I really don't like them. So I want to see, but regardless, I want to see what facts are out there and why, this being a harassment campaign, a cancellation attempt, There might be some valid reasons, and there might be some very dumb ones. I want to see real quick.
This situation has been an absolute mess. Ah, God, Jesus.
Hey, guys are here. So today we're going to be talking about the latest cancel culture campaign to be once again targeting the VTuber Kirsche. Now, we talked about her about a year ago because at the time, she was supposed to be a featured guest at a convention that me and my wife are also supposed to be featured guests at.
He's fucking married? Nah. Rev Says Desu is married. The fuck?
At the time,
that's
she was
bullshit.
Unfortunately let go from that convention because of her problematic opinions and her wrong thinker.
Fuck him. I'll be real. Kirsche said nothing wrong. Anybody who disagrees with Kirsche, you're just horrendously misinformed. And what's been going on is that any crimes that happen to black people have
What the fuck am I watching? Yeah, we're in, how deep are we in so far? We're 39 seconds and text was like, guys, black people? Like, what the?
immense amount of sympathy for, and then any crimes that happen to white
Oh, okay, hold on. I think he's bringing up like that one fundraiser for that one kid that apparently, allegedly, reportedly, FYI, killed a white kid. He's getting a fundraiser. Okay. It sounded like that was a crazy, opening sentence.
people they just point and laugh at. And all Kirsche was doing was pointing out the hypocrisy, how a black guy can kill a white guy and get $500,000 in sympathy funds, and a white woman can call a child the hard R while being recorded by a pedophilic black man at a park, and she'll receive $10,000.
Huh? Wait, what, was that a context of the video? No, I think like the guy was just at the park and recording her for being, a bitch.
Or for sympathy for that ruining her life. And guys, I'm gonna be real, killing someone is much worse
What the fuck did I get myself into?
than saying the
God.
N-word. I'll be real. They're both fucking terrible. The murder is obviously worse. But neither of these people should be getting rewarded. Neither of them. But everybody turned a blind eye when a black man killed a white woman. Yet now that the white woman is doing something wrong, everybody's pointing it out.
To be fair, it's like really... I'm not gonna be a pussy, right? I will admit, both of those fundraisers are fucking crazy, The idea that somebody, set them up and they're actually getting money from it, yeah, that's crazy.
So why don't we
So I want to see, I want to see Kirsch's opinion stance on those.
have a universal rule where everybody's held accountable for this bullshit, and we just don't pick and choose our favorites? Fuck that. That's
Okay, so far, not so
reality
bad.
I want to live in.
or whatever you want to label it as. And seeing that, me and my wife looked at that and said, we don't want to be a part of anything like this. So we gave up
Yep.
our
I
spot.
really hope, I feel like both these people, Rev and Tectone, they're somewhat biased. So I pray it's a very small chance, right? But if they omit some context, I'm gonna be angry.
As
I literally
featured
have
guest.
no idea because once in this video, I'm not gonna actively look into this situation unless it gets more insane.
In
Fuck 'em.
protest of what happened.
Fuck
Now let's
'em.
fast
Good shit,
forward
Rev.
to the latest life ruination campaign targeting Kirsche, where many individuals are trying to literally ruin her life. They're going after her sponsors and anything she is affiliated with because she is so problematic.
Now, was that Game Subs? Yeah, I heard about that actually.
One partner
But I want to know, right? People going after sponsors is somewhat shitty. But I want to know, what actions, motivate them to go that far.
actually let her go, although unofficially, is Crime Boss Rocket City. This is a game that Kirsche has been
Fuck
a
'em.
sort of unofficial ambassador for. She is the largest streamer to play this, arguably, and she has done a lot to promote this game. A lot of their success
Oh, I know this
is
game. That game sucked ass.
in part to Kirsche, but due to these recent complaints, they have dropped her entirely, and look
Fuck
at the
that.
results. These are the Steam reviews for this game. They have completely
Good.
fallen off a cliff, and rightfully so.
Good.
You reap what you sow when you
Good.
engage in this
Fuck 'em.
nonsense.
Straight
now, what's
up,
going
fuck
on
'em.
here? Well, there's been a
Wait,
long
hold on,
series.
wait. That's so. Oh no. Wait, what does that say? So, what does that say? VTuber Kirsche goes viral for seemingly defending CeeLo Hendrix fundraiser after latter reportedly calls the child the N-word. Oh God. It's like that's really autistic, right? A streamer gets dropped from a game they're being an ambassador for, and then you review bomb them. That's so dumb. I'm sorry, the fans being dumb in that situation.
of articles
I think Rev said deservedly. No, I'm sorry. Why would they give it to keep somebody being problematic? It's bad, right? But that's just common. That's common practice in the industry.
viral tweets. It's been going on for about a month now where people are trying to label Kirsche as a
Also, he built that up, being oh, there's a harassment campaign, and the studio dropped her. Okay, but once again, what motivated them? Was that really bad? Clip chimp offer, or does she have some very right-wing stances? That borderline on being hateful. I want to know that potentially. I don't get the full picture right, but probably the small tidbits I got from Twitter, it seemed there's an actual issue with this person potentially.
literal white supremacist or a literal Nazi. And this is just the most recent
Yeah, there was a leaked footage of her husband online too. It's some guy on an airplane wearing a Burger King crown. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the clip, but apparently he's like,
What the fuck is he? The meme? What do you mean?
yeah, apparently that's a thing too.
article on the situation saying this from Sports Kita. VTuber Kirsche goes viral for seemingly defending Shiloh Hendrix's fundraiser after.
Oh, that's what I remember seeing. Like apparently, she went after. Vice had like an article that's now taken down. But I wish I could read that right because apparently it was biased. But I'm like. I'm a pretty smart person, right? I can pick up on bias, but I can't read that anymore because it's taken down. Apparently, Sportskeeda is also biased against her. I might pull that up actually. I want to see, how much malice they have, how much misinfo they're spreading.
Latter reportedly calls a child.
I can't really dispute it, if I don't really get the full picture.
The N-word. So in their infinite wisdom, Sportskeeda makes this wild accusation while also providing a time-stamped clip of the stream in question where she supposedly defended someone saying the N-word to a child. Unfortunately for them, in their infinite wisdom, their own clip that they provide debunks everything they're saying. And we'll see it in just a second. But to give context before we watch it, especially for those who are not from the United States, two things are relevant to this clip. There was a situation where a black high school student stabbed a white high school student to death. There was then...
What was that? What the fuck am I watching? Guys, before we just clip, before we put like a fucking VTuber with fat anime tits, a white guy got stabbed by a black guy. What?
A fundraiser for the assailants of that situation, which raised
I'm guessing like he's giving that preempt, like she'll be pulling it up, and that's why.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
$500,000.
Like it's such a fucking crazy, turn. Going from watching like a VTuber with fat tits, to hearing about like a violent murder story. Holy fuck.
Because a black kid killed a white kid. $500,000. Guys, I've been saying this shit for years, and I'm sorry if this upsets you. I've been told I'm alt-right because of this, because I said, guys, it's okay to be white on the internet. If you don't understand the immense hatred that white people get on the internet, I'm sorry that you're delusional. But that
it's not about if it sounds right, but it feels like very edgy. Yeah, I'm white and I'm proud.
That's the fucking truth.
I'm Romanian, I'm proud.
They're the punching bags. We've gotten to a point where people have justified racism towards white people because it doesn't count because they're white. It makes no fucking sense. I'm called an alt-right extremist because I've pointed this out. These people are fucking retarded.
A few weeks later...
Guys, I've lost friends over that take. By the way, just calling out the blatant favoritism towards every other race besides white people on the internet.
Was this Shiloh Hendrix individual?
So far, it's not that bad at what he's saying. It feels like a little bit like, edgy high schooler, like amazing atheist, but so far, not so bad. Also, guys, bear in mind, right, the building that saw me is on fire, and they're actively taking it down. They're actively deconstructing the building. So if you hear like any bang sounds, that's why.
How many type 1 if you've ever heard someone say you can't be racist towards white people?
Oh fucking I'm sorry. I don't mind Tectone. Actually, yes I do actually. But this is just like dragging on.
Who called a child...
Guys, it's fun to be white. Thank you.
A playground.
Thank you Tectone, for reminding me with your bald head. Thank you.
Around the N-word, and then people raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for her after she was...
It was tens of thousands of dollars. I think the last time I checked it was $37,000, but maybe it's broke $50K, but it's not hundreds of thousands of dollars.
...doxxed and was trying to relocate her home. Now, in the clip we're going to watch, Kirsche identifies that these things did in fact happen, and then goes on to say that the latter, the whole N-word controversy, is not good. That's their proof. Let's watch the clip that supposedly shows that she is defending this woman.
How in the name of Baby Moses on Fire did we go from the loving society of the 90s to the fucking mess in 2025? That's some chutzpah. A lot of people are just like, unfollowed. That's an unfollow for me. Bostonian guy said, oh no, what am I going to do without followers? I think it's okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word. I don't think most people think it's okay. I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, like the whole George Floyd incident and the Summer of Love, like the Carmelo Anthony.
Like, guys, I understand
that was the name,
some
right?
word.
So far I see like, bro, like this video is so fucking, the pace is so bad. It seems like, in general, she wasn't defending that crazy woman calling the kid the N-word. She was just saying, it's so ironic how we're giving this kid money, but also, like we're giving both these people any money at all. Like, neither of them should exist.
Words are really bad and they hurt people's feelings. I would rather be called a name than get fucking stabbed to death. And that's where we're at in big 2025. Where
So
we're
what do
trying
you say? What do you say?
I would rather be called a name than get fucking stabbed to death.
Okay, fine, whatever.
And that's where we're at in big 2025, where we're trying to say that name calling is worse than murder. That's what people are trying to say. It's insane. But a kid, though, okay. So let me ask you a question. Dazzle Dork, if you were a kid, would you rather be called a name or would you rather be stabbed to death?
I think now, holy shit, I think I get the point where I should make it right, but like, you know, it's trying to like entertain, you know, the N-word saying by being like, which one would you prefer? Just say very simply, you know, neither of them should be a fundraiser at all. Neither of these people deserve money. Like by getting like really into the mud, you know, like you're really trying to alleviate one of the other. I mean, what if one of them is, you know, worse?
Not
100%.
believe that.
Like any person that, you know, doesn't agree immediately, like, oh, that both of them shouldn't exist, like the fundraisers, then there's no point getting through them.
You just tried to.
Like these people, like, let me zoom in. These people on Reddit, you know, you could argue with them for like centuries, and you never change their mind.
Say that you'd rather be stabbed to death over being called a name. Jesus. That happened in real time, by the way. Jesus. Good. You've changed your opinion. Thank you.
There's just a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system.
Of course.
And they start saying some crazy things. And
also, you know, bear in mind, right? You go back to like the beginning, she got banned, but for all I know, there could be a myriad of reasons. Right now, we're watching like one anime guy, you know, who likes VTubers, you know, reviewing it. There could be like so much context missing behind this, but at the same time, with something like this, I can't fucking make like an hour-long video essay on all the crimes, on all the problematic stuff by Kirsche.
Some crazy things. That doesn't make it okay.
Of course it doesn't.
But it's like, that's just kind of the consequence of where we're at now, unfortunately.
In her defense, right, she's in the worst platform ever. Well, unless like you're a far left tanky, right, you'll be obliterated for any bad thing you might say. You know, if you don't support her son, you're in enemy territory. You know, on Twitch.
There's some people who are like accelerationists that are like, the pendulum is going to swing back so far it's going to break off.
I forgot to include that as well. Her ban, if you go back, her ban was only for 1 day. So it's not that bad, to be honest. I mean, 1 day bans, they're still insulting, but like they're barely anything at all, in my opinion. I think, you know, if they really want to like hate on her, like Twitch wanted to fucking dunk her, you know, it'd be a 1 week long ban. That'd be way worse, you know. That'd be like fucking a pound of salt on a wound. Like by 1 day, they want to send a message as opposed, you know, fully deplatforming her.
That's not true.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happening. I don't like seeing this kind of like violence towards other people. Like, not that words are violence, right? But there are people advocating for violence on both sides, and I don't like seeing that.
It's not good.
To reiterate, Sports Kita is accusing Kirsche of seemingly defending the latter fundraiser, and the clip they provide as the supposed proof does the exact opposite.
Absolutely.
It literally
it doesn't make, you know, like very shitty journalism.
Own claim. She
very shitty clickbait.
At the objective reality that these two fundraisers do exist. They happen. She identifies that, and then later says that given the circumstances and everything going on with the two fundraisers and all of the controversy involving them,
and how one's universally praised and the other one's universally shit on.
Sports Kita then says that is proof.
Okay, I don't really see like that much support at all, you know, for like the guy who stabbed the other kid. I barely see at all.
Of her defending the fundraiser.
Not even close.
It is incredible.
Like maybe it's a regional thing, right? Because, you know, I don't live in America. I mean, I go on Twitter, right? That's mainly American people. Like, I barely see any favoritism towards that, in my opinion.
Incredibly.
Not even the
and
same.
I'm just saying, like, you know, what I've seen. In my opinion, I haven't seen that much.
Ballpark.
Like, any support for that one.
So disingenuous.
Dishonest. Honestly, at this point, they make Kotaku look like they deserve a Pulitzer Prize. This is a garbage headline. It is misleading.
Oh, yeah.
And it is inflammatory. It is trying to paint Kirsche as something that she is not. They are putting words in her mouth that she clearly did not make in that clip. And a lot of people would react to this and run with it, and some people would criticize this article, including Asmongold. You can see this video where he reacted.
Holy fuck, dude, we have like the worst trifecta ever. We have Tectone, we have Rev Says Desu, we have Asmongold. Yes.
To the sports
slop.
Like ratio is like 99%. Now, if you went to Twitter, you would think this is a closed, shut case, that she's a white supremacist, that she's this awful, terrible person, because they read a headline from Sports Kita and other viral tweets like that. But they don't question.
There's so many times where the internet just tries to run rampant with someone's misfortune or an out-of-context clip and try to ruin their life, but 99 times out of 100, if you just look into it for yourself, you'll realize that it's a fucking nothing burger.
Question anything that's actually going on.
But like, I really want to say like what the Vice article was about. I want to say on one side, you know, it might have been bad because like actually like, you know, misinformation, because she got that one taken down. Most journalists, you know, they stick by their guns, right? They will only take it down if they legitimately have like a lapse in judgment, or if that one writer was a fucking idiot that day. So maybe like, you know, that one was potentially bad.
here. When you have people like
For all I know, right? I mean, I can't even like judge it, right? Because it's no longer up.
actually look at the clip and
There might be an archive for like that'll be like fucking pages down on the internet.
question that's supposed to defend this claim in the headline, it proves the exact opposite. So this is a very unfortunate situation where people are using articles like this to go
What's
after
Sportskeeda?
sponsors
Where
and anything
50 to 60-year-old gets their
unfortunately, that leads
news.
us to Crime Boss, which again, Kirsche was a sort of unofficial ambassador for. They weren't paying her to promote this game. She was just a very big fan and brought a lot of people to this game, and they owe her a lot.
Wait, what? Wait, how? Like, pause. That makes no sense. She wasn't an official ambassador. She was a big fan. Then how would they kick her? Like, unless she has like an actual position in the company or external whatever, how could they kick her?
But you know what they did instead? They quietly
You
dropped
can't
her.
play our
She has
game
reported
anymore.
that they got rid of her. They've cut ties because of seemingly the recent controversies. There's no other reason they would do this now.
I mean, you're saying controversy, but I feel like there's like way more shit behind the scenes.
And you can see the results.
There's no way there's just like one article by Sportskeeda that's like getting misinfo out
People
there.
are not happy.
Yep.
A lot of people who came to this game because of Kirsche are very dissatisfied, and they're showing that by leaving negative reviews. That's how
I think that's pretty gay, to be
they're
honest.
providing their feedback for the situation, where they're seeing someone who boosted this game get dropped the second there's any heat applied.
I think
Yeah, but like by saying like like they negative review bombed the game is not really proof of like how she's innocent. Like if you want to find like some strong bias within people, it's in a fan base. Like she could have done like something bad, and she could have like the worst thing ever, and people would like get behind her and review bomb the game.
the moment that a company drops you for an out of context clip and like publicly like defames you, I just fuck them, bro. Straight up. I think these companies that want to give their creators shit for out of context clips or situations they don't really have the full spectrum of, they're just so fucking dumb. It's insane. And I think even the other creators as well who are like, there was another dumbass creator on the internet, I can't remember who it was. They left Gamersubs because Gamersubs wouldn't abandon Kirsche due to this lack.
Oh, Joe Cat. Okay, I think that guy's a bit odd, a bit peculiar. I think he was decent actually. I don't mind him. I think if you, I mean, like he wasn't making a very strong statement. Sorry, he was just like I don't want to be with Gamersubs because they still supported one person, and he wasn't like disavowing that person. He was saying I don't want to be in a company that's still supporting that streamer who I don't really agree with. I think that's fine actually.
Lack of
Like he's like the one guy on the internet that actually lost money or left a fucking company because of like somebody they didn't agree with. I mean, it's lost money, that's awful. But like, if you're gonna stick by your guns, I respect that to a degree.
context clip, and it's like, okay, you want to go down that route? Okay, stop using your smartphone because it was made by children in a sweatshop in China.
That's retarded, actually. Good point, bored retard.
Okay, stop watching Jujutsu Kaisen because they're made in the most horrible working conditions of any company ever. Where
Can I engage in a conversation? Yes, I can. That's moronic. No. If you want to partner a company, right? If you because like the smartphone industry, are you moronic? That's massive. It's low taper. But like if you're like in Gamersubs, right? And there's like one person that you don't like, you can like he wasn't even saying like I don't want to support Gamersubs anymore. Just saying I don't want to be a part of it. I don't feel comfortable when there's like some of the people that I don't agree with. That's perfectly fine. With smartphones, like you going to like a fucking mountain, right? Like living technology free. That's not gonna change shit. But I think he wasn't even like saying, he doesn't want to change it. He was just saying, I don't want to support them. That's it. He wasn't like calling for like a huge change within the company.
do you draw the fucking line? Here's what I like to do. I like to let my criticisms live in reality and not find reasons to get upset because I'm bored. It's just pathetic. It's so embarrassing where the world is headed. It's just nuts. Like
I don't like this generalization of Joe Cat. If that's his name, right? The animator.
it's not enough for people to do things that are wrong and be held accountable for them. People are getting to the point where they have to make things up because they're bored and they just want to be angry. And I'm glad Kirsche is getting a pretty big amount of support for this because it's ridiculous where the internet's headed.
Again, I feel like there's some other part. I can't, say that boldly. Oh, I feel like there's other evidence, like some other context. When in reality, I'm fresh and new to the story. I have no idea. But I feel like there's some other part behind this.
To the situation.
I say that, for my own security, because for all I know, right, as I upload this video, the worst debunking, like the worst video against her, expose, like, top grade expose against her, might come out, and I look like a fucking idiot for the stance.
Relevant parties. It is a very bad situation. Now, of course, you lose a lot of dedicated fans, but you gain some new ones, don't you? As pointed out here, good job capitulating to people that won't even buy your game.
True.
Crime Boss. You can see this whole yap session, blah, 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 blah. This person says base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted white supremacist VTuber from a sponsorship. And they say, oh, we're so interested in this game. Guess what? They don't own the game. Good. They're saying all this, but they're not actually supporting the game because that's...
Yeah, and that's where the reality, and that's where the internet is at in 2025, is that we are pandering to people who aren't even a part of our community. It's like, for example, and there's a great little analogy. I'm going to make this about myself real quick. Typical tech tone. Why the fuck would I care about what Hassan's community, Denim's community, the Lolly community, the Genshin community, the LSF community, the 4chan community says? I don't want any of these people in my fucking business. I don't want to appease any of these people. All of these people can go fuck themselves. They're retarded. They're not needed. They're unnecessary. So why would I spend my time worrying about these mentally unstable people who are miserable in their own lives and their only goal is to make everybody else just as miserable as them? I'm good, guys. Anyways, Kirsche, you got nothing but my support. I'm sorry this just happened to you.
Well, there you go. I guess that's a story, right? Tectone, Rev says Desu, they're supporting Kirsche right now. Fair enough. Unfortunately, I have to be a pussy right now and say, I don't have a concrete stance, because I've seen some stuff, some dummy stuff about her on Twitter, but I haven't fully looked into it enough to have like a whole opinion about it. And I feel like these people are a bit biased, It's like there is some content being omitted. So once again, all I'll say, this is insane. But apart from that, I don't have like a very concrete stance. That's it, take it or leave it. But holy fuck, again, she might order. Yeah, that's right. She might make a response pretty soon. Actually, if you got banned for one day, she might come back tomorrow and expose the shitty nature of Twitch, which would be fine, right? I think it's so alright. Even if I don't know much about her, it's so dumb that someone like her, will get banned. Meanwhile, someone like Hassan can stay up, scot free, no issue. He could promote terrorism. He could put like a video of like a boat being hijacked by terrorists, and it's a-okay. No qualms there. That's insane. So yeah, if he wants to like go after Twitch for the shitty TOS policies, that's fine, right? The one thing I'm not sure about is is what is her opinions, her political stances. That's the one thing that might be more might have some more deep-rooted issues from my knowledge, from my bare bone knowledge of it. That's it. That's all I'll say.